to Court TV's newest case, the protective grandmother murder trial in Nevada. 60-year-old Pamela Bordeaux is accused of shooting and killing her ex-son-in-law, Sean Babbitt, in April of 2019. Bordeaux is a retired Las Vegas police officer. The prosecution calls it an execution, but Bordeaux claims it was self-defense. This is what she told officers when they arrived on the scene.
What do we got going on inside the house?
Control 652. We get a quick debrief from her before we send the team in to clear the residence.
There's no one else in there that's armed.
We got a daughter upstairs with a baby?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only people in?
Yes.
Is Sean down?
Is Sean down?
Is he 419?
I don't know.
Does he appear like he's dead? Is he moving?
I don't think so.
Do you hear any moaning, anything like that? No?
No.
Okay. Is he holding the gun or is the gun near him?
It was my gun.
It was your gun. Where's it at?
You can advise.
Did you shoot him or did he shoot himself? Okay. Did you shoot him or did he shoot himself?
Action team ready to go.
Huh? You shot him.
Now, Babbitt shared a child with Bordeaux's daughter, Erica Carnell, and he was at the house for supervised child visitation when the shooting happened. Carnell testified for the state yesterday. During her emotional testimony, she told the jury that she heard gunshots.
On the day that this incident happened, you arrived at your mom's house around 6:30 that morning?
I think so. It started at 7. I was there early, maybe half an hour.
Okay. And Sean came around 7?
Yes.
And was the visit downstairs or upstairs?
It's upstairs. The living room is upstairs.
Okay. And then I believe you said that you accounted to police that you guys were playing with blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And that everything was normal for what typical, I guess normal is the wrong word, was typical for a visit.
Typical is the right word.
Yes, okay.
It's not a normal situation. It's
yes.
typical, yeah.
Yes. And then again, I'm just going to direct you to answer the question. It's okay. Nothing was, you guys just played with, well, there's the 4 of you upstairs, is that right?
Me and my husband and my son.
And Miss Bordeaux?
I'm sorry, my ex-husband. My ex-husband names, yes, and my mom 4, sorry.
Okay, it's okay, it can be a little confusing. So, just so I understand correctly, it's you're upstairs, your son is upstairs, Sean Babbitt, the father of that son was upstairs,
Yes.
and then Pamela Bordeaux, your mother was upstairs.
Yes.
During the middle of this visit, you leave to go take your son to the bathroom to kind of enforce his potty training. And Ms. Bordeaux and Mr. Babbitt are still in the living room, upstairs living room together while you go to the upstairs bathroom. Is that right?
Yes.
But you didn't hear any arguing or dispute during that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't hear any discussion about anything during that?
No.
Okay. And then you go back and resume and have a typical visit.
Yes.
And then at about 8 o'clock, the visit ends.
Yes.
And do you take your son back to the potty, is that right?
Yes.
And again, that's part of potty training, you're always taking your kids to make sure they don't have accidents. And does Ms. Bordeaux and Mr. Babbitt go with you to the bathroom area? So you go to the bathroom area and then believe what you say is the last time you see Sean is he's upstairs, at the stairs, is that right?
I think he was at the stairs.
Yes. And again, you don't hear any arguments.
No.
And is it fair to say that even before you get to the bathroom, or that you get to the toilet area, you hear loud bangs?
I was in the bathroom, but just not the toilet area.
And,
Yes.
and then you heard a bunch of loud bangs.
Several of, I don't know how many.
Right. And I think you told the police 2 to 3, but then said several.
So, yeah, I don't know how many, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And you had no idea what happened.
No.
You're upstairs with your 3-year-old son.
That's right.
It's fair to say it was a very scary situation.
It was.
And sure. Okay, I'm sorry. And if you need to take a break, just let us know. And you didn't hear anything leading up to it. You just heard a bunch of loud bangs. Is that right?
Yes.
What do you do when you hear the loud bangs?
I called 911.
Do you yell out to say like what's going on?
Yeah.
And fair to say you're concerned about your mother at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm yelling.
And,
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. And if you need a minute, let me know. Your mom actually is the one that says call 911. Is that right?
She had yelled at her. Okay, what's going on? And she told me to call 911.
And did you do that?
Yeah.
At some point, your mom actually comes upstairs. Is that right?
Into the room.
Into the room. And you ask her what happened.
I think I said, are you okay? Or what happened? Or something like that.
And she doesn't really say anything, does she?
No, she doesn't say anything.
She just tells you don't come down.
Well, I don't think she said it at that point. She said it earlier.
Okay, she said earlier don't come down. And
So
then
I called the police and called 911 and don't come here.
Now, Carnell also testified that her ex was preparing to fight for joint custody at the time of the shooting. Now, if convicted, Pamela Bordeaux faces life in prison. Joining us still to discuss, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Jack Rice. Jack, a lot going on here. First and foremost, the testimony there now, this is the daughter of the woman on trial. She had remarried, she had gotten divorced from the other guy. Her testimony was she didn't hear any arguing at any point that day. Then she takes the child upstairs for a second time. She had taken him earlier to go potty. Before she actually gets to the potty, again, no arguing, and then shots. And what we know is there were 10 shots. These are some tough facts for the defense.
Yeah, it's really difficult because what we're looking for is self-defense. I mean, if she's making the claim that she was simply defending herself, then we should have seen something. We should have heard something. The daughter should have been able to at least describe the tenseness in the room, or there was screaming beforehand. And I think we can also look what Bordeaux says to the officers themselves. And this officer was really smart when he said, whose gun was it? And he asked it twice. And you're doing that purposely because these are statements against interest. These come in, and you want a very clear answer from somebody who may be a suspect. And at this point, they weren't even technically a suspect because these officers don't know what they have.
And I think it's instructive too, Jack, that at the scene there, as she's talking to police, she's not screaming about self-defense or anything. And here's why I think that might be the case. I think what she's referring to is a more general threat and not a specific threat. He claims this guy was addicted to porn. He was a sexual deviant. He had sent emails to Erica, her daughter. He was engaging in sexually explicit activity. He was aggressive. When they got divorced, he only got 1 hour a week of supervised visitation, and he had to, and it was a court order that he get some sort of therapy and have proof of that therapy. Something was going on. And he might have been a threat to the family, but it seems to be a more general threat rather than specific. Is that going to be persuasive?
That actually is not going to be persuasive. And actually, Michael, it cuts the other direction because this actually gives her motive. I mean, if the fear now is that, in fact, he may get access to this child, what does that mean? If she's defending herself, she can defend herself or she can defend others from an individual, if that's the case. There's nothing that tells us that that was the case. I mean, imagine if she had come upstairs and said, he came at me, he lunged at my weapon. If she had gone to the police originally and said, he was grabbing at my weapon, what we have here is nothing of the kind. If you're saying he is a sexual deviant, he's addicted to pornography, and he's made generalized threats in the past, that simply isn't enough to simply kill somebody, especially add that additional fact of 10 rounds that she fires either at him, near him, or into him.
Yeah, and the final point quickly, in the last 30 seconds, I would imagine that might help if she gets on the stand and tells her story. They might be more apt to believe her if they believe this other stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the truth, because if she can describe the kind of person that he is, you can get a jury that can sometimes say, you know what, good riddance. That's not exactly the law, but let's face it, juries have the ability to make the decision as to what they think the right answer is. And that happens all the time.
Yes, it does. All right.